Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All Deaf Gaming. We are the arcade tokens. I am the anomaly, Will Pharaoh. You, Patrick.
I am Patrick Cloud. I don't know what order this is.
I'm
Now
Khleo
you.
Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
And of course, we have Zordon, Khadeem in the back, Manning in Arcadia getting us set up right. And welcome to Games That Define You. This is one of the exclusive contents we're going to be bringing to you each week on All Deaf Gaming and on All Deaf as well. And we're going to be talking about video games and histories that have defined us, our classic video games that we love that have shaped us into the men that we are today.
Yes.
So, yes. And so we're going to have Khadeem bringing up some dope footage from past games. You're going to see some, crazy graphics. We're going to be talking about just what they meant to us at that time, how they shaped us, some dope childhood memories, and what they stand for today in the current gaming community. So without further ado, I think we should just go ahead and get this started by introducing ourselves. So the people that don't know about the arcade tokens and about what we're going to be bringing to All Deaf Gaming, want to pass it to Patrick Cloud.
What's up, guys? Hello, I'm Patrick Cloud. I'm the creative director of All Deaf Comedy. And yes, I'm heading up All Deaf Gaming. So this is one of the tentpole series that we're going to be doing. We have a couple more episodes on the Personal Arcade Tokens channel where we're talking about, we already covered like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Final Fantasy VII, a lot of the big ones. So go ahead and check those out. But yes, this is the first one on All Deaf. So bow. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, man. Excited to be here. This is going to be so much fun. You guys are going to get a chance to know more about us really just through video games. I think video games actually show more of a person's personality than we may initially think. I think Pat slowly but surely started to figure out, as he's known my choices now, he's like, you know what, that makes sense. That actually pieces together. Then we look at Will's, it's like, that makes sense. And then Pat, literally every game Pat plays actually fits into who he is as a human. It's crazy.
It's interesting that you say that because like once I found out that you personally, Khleo, never really jumped on the Nintendo, you touched in major titles, but you kind of stayed PlayStation, Metal Gear, Final Fantasy. I'm like, oh yeah, huh? That makes a lot of sense as to the games you're not trying to play like that.
Yeah.
The affiliate you got of the Wolf of PlayStation, it makes it even stronger now.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
So we want to just go ahead and get started then?
Yeah, we want to go ahead and get started, man. I think, Patrick Cloud, you are one of the essential reasons that All Deaf Gaming got a platform in the first place. So I think it only be right that the torch be passed first to you to give us the first game that defined you.
Thank you. Well, it's actually weird. I don't know if this is like our personal second or third episode, but it's weird that I haven't chose this game yet, but I'm glad I saved it for All Deaf because my first game is Mario Kart 64. All right.
Man.
I remember, obviously I started with PlayStation. I had that for what I want to say is like 6 months, half a year. And then I got 64 for Christmas. It was Mario 64, this, and Legend of Zelda. Those were like the holy trinity of 64. This game is so good. It's probably still one of the best racing games, if not top 3 best racing games in gaming history. And it's on a vintage console. You know what I mean? Just like everything from the presentation. For me, I'm not into Gran Turismo or any of those like serious racing games. So it's like to show racing like this with characters that you love, but just like wackiness. Like if you think about it, like you were slipping on banana peels and throwing turtle shells at each other. Like it was really like ridiculous, but just everything from the levels, the level designs, the fact that this is how you figured out that all these niggas were rich. Like Donkey Kong had his own venues. Wario had actual stadiums. Like these dudes were actually paid out here.
These cats got bags. Like
you weren't even racing through Mario levels. You were racing through Mario character owned facilities like
Wario Stadium. Like Wario got a whole stadium in this bitch.
Luigi had a raceway or something like that.
Yeah.
These are stuff that you thought only Peach could afford, but like you saw in later Mario Kart games, Donkey Kong had a whole ski resort. Like these niggas But you could just see like the classic nostalgia. Like this was like the first game that I was like, I'm untouchable in it. I soon found out I was not. But I won a Mario Kart tournament. I thought I was like the shit in this game.
Thought you
And
was the one.
it's so competitive. It
Yeah.
is so competitive. It's still to this day. It's just
And
everything.
also, yeah, one of the only other games like that's retro that holds up. Like if you was like, yo, let's play Mario 64 right now, you'd be like, bet. And
Right.
you'd probably be playing that for a couple of hours. Like I think Kevin on stage had mentioned it best. Like GoldenEye, you got probably like 2 rounds, and you just like, yo, I'm good.
Can't
But
do
over
it.
here, you could run the night with this.
Oh yeah.
You could run the game night with this.
Arcade
For
Tokens
me-
actually did run a game night with this. Joysticks and drinks
Yeah, man.
back in the olden days when we can go outside.
Man,
We had an event. We had an
We'll
event.
be able to bring it back out for sure during the next gaming event that we throw. The very first time I played Mario Kart, I think it was I played Mario Kart 64 at my friend's house and got really good at it. And then I never had realized that there was a Mario Kart game for the Super Nintendo. I never played it. So
Right.
I went back and I tried to play it. Not a smart idea.
Nah, it starts at 64.
Yeah, the physics of the game are not there. It's very 2D mapped. It's not as fun.
yes.
But when Mario 64, you whip that out at any party, everyone's getting competitive. Girls love to play it too, so they instantly jump in and they get really into it. Like I've seen girls like start cursing about it.
Oh yeah.
The follow-up for this Mario Kart, I believe was Mario Kart, I want to say 8. I believe that was for the Wii.
Yeah.
And then we have the Mario Kart that's right now for the Nintendo Switch, which is really good.
Bananas.
There's things in that game that really make it competitive and racing, like who you pick, the type of car, the type of wheels you choose, the parachute that you want to install to your car. All of those things matter. And I just tested a new formula. I did what's the Mario with the raccoon tail with the T?
Yeah. Tanuki
Mario with the Mercedes Benz in that game in the new Mario Kart, ridiculous.
All right, got my combination. Yeah, I got my combination. Yeah. Black Shy Guy with Inkling's bike and the gold Mario Kart parachute with the Zelda wheels.
Nice.
Rose Gold Peach.
Okay.
Rose Gold Peach and Link.
Oh, nice.
I got.
Yes. But I can speak actually on all of these because I actually started during the Super Nintendo version.
Okay.
Like me and my brother used to play, and I can tell you it completely changed when 64 came out. Like when you can hop in Mario Kart. When you hopped on Super Nintendo, the whole screen moved. And I don't mean like turn like a camera. It was like when you jump, it did this and then put you back on the track. That's how 2-dimensional it was, but it was still so much fun. We hated the Bowser level, of course, and we hated Rainbow Road. And so that's where that.
I liked Rainbow Road.
Not on you do on 64.
Oh yeah. That's what I meant.
On Super Nintendo, that makes you almost break your television set.
It's hell.
I liked in the 64 Rainbow Road how right after the finish line you could jump off and hit a further down spot, because when you hit that, it was just game over. That and the Koopa Beach, the secret through the waterfall was like a game changer. I've come back from a couple things. So wait, who favorite level in the first one, and who's y'all mains?
Ooh. Okay, my main was Toad, and the only reason why because I thought because he was the smallest, he'd be the fastest, and it was true.
Yep.
He was there because he was light, he was good. And my favorite one, man, is Toad Speedway, bro. Like just,
okay.
Yeah, like just on the freeway with the buses and stuff like that. Like, yo, that is just I don't know what it is about that one, but that
can make you lose friends though. That
level.
Yeah,
it can because it tests you as a driver. Like that was one of the ones those levels that when you played that you kind of had to be strategic about these things. And then just bringing it back to the current Mario Kart and how they've added things like the ramp that'll let you glide over some of the stuff. It just brings like all of those. Like if you had that in 64, it'd have been probably 10 times worse with friendships because it was just ridiculous.
And who was your main? And who was your main?
Main with Toad.
Toad. Okay.
Yeah.
Khleo?
I switched between Toad and Luigi.
Okay.
And my favorite level was Moo Moo Farm. For sure, Moo Moo Farm. I liked Moo Moo Farm, man. I don't know what it was about it, but I remember playing that level the most, and I do not know why.
It was fun.
It was fun because it's an all-around fun game, man. Like you can't like really hate Mario Kart. You can't.
Nah.
You were never mad on Moo Moo Road. Like even when the ground start popping up and the little groundhogs would pop up.
Those guys.
You hated them, but you didn't get mad when you hit them. Like, oh fuck! But you still be smiling.
Here's my problem with Moo Moo Farms. There will be one cow, right? Just one, and all the space in the world, and I will somehow find a way to be like, whoa, 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 and just hit the
boom right into him.
Nothing else. I could have gone anywhere else. That's why I did not mess with that level. I was actually a really big fan of the beach and the ice level with the penguins.
Oh yeah,
like those
I
penguins.
Hated that one. I hated that level with
worst level by far. Choco Mountain. That level was ass.
Oh, and
with the Cocoa Puffs.
Yoshi's level 2 with the egg. Hated it.
That level was interesting though, because you didn't know what place you were in.
I hated that. I could not stand going through the mazes. And then and you know what's crazy about it too is that they actually took this out in the new Mario Kart, which is in 64, the routes changed. So when you went to when you did the second lap, the routes changed, so you couldn't do the same one.
Really? How?
Yeah. Rainbow Road?
No. Yoshi's. So it would actually change. Like if you play 64, the routes actually change on 64.
Damn.
How?
I guess due to programming when it's put in there. Like when you do the
sometimes you can lap somebody. So if you lap somebody, that would be your second go around, but their first go around.
Yeah.
So how would it switch?
I have no idea. But we tried this theory out. Me and my brother was playing, and he remembered his route that he was going. He took the exact same route, and it switched on him, and it put him in 8th place. And then he did the same route again, and then it put him in 3rd place.
I have a question regarding Diddy Kong Racing. I might have played Diddy Kong Racing maybe 2 or 3 times, but why do I remember it being really freaking fun?
No, it was amazing. It was a really good ripoff. I was considering doing Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing today.
Wow,
because in terms of how that's really the only way you could get a leg up in Mario Kart is to switch the vehicle, because you couldn't do what they did better. So they added the plane, which was dope, and the hoverboard, which was also pretty cool. But it was just all of the other characters that weren't good enough to be in Mario Kart. It was like Conker and Banjo. It's just like all the
also honorable mention, Crash Team Racing.
Crash Team Racing recently had a new release come out for the Nintendo Switch.
Yes. Yeah. That one was definitely worthy of being up there. And like you said, can't do the format any better. So just do it your style, Crash Bandicoot, and just make it dope.
I like how it was adventure style. That was really cool. It was like free world.
Oh, hey, fellas, I don't mean to interject, but there's a little Easter egg about this game that I don't know if everyone knows.
Which one? Which game?
Mario Kart.
Oh, what?
What's the Easter egg?
So the Easter egg is, you see that, of course, everyone's seen this front cover, right? Everyone's seen that title screen, right?
Yeah,
of course. But if you were able to beat every single thing, first place, 150 cc's, all of it, you in fact get this cover.
This cover, yeah.
This cover. And what that cover is...
I've never seen this.
Yeah, that is literally what the title screen turns into. If you are able to beat every single thing in this game. And you get a mirror mode. So pretty much the whole game's in reverse now. If you're able to do this.
I saw that one time.
I've never seen that in my life.
I saw it one time from this white boy that lived next to us. And this is how you know I was gonna be a hater in life. I swear he had like the bootleg version of Mario Kart.
Because of this?
Because of this. I was like, yo, this ain't even the screen for Mario Kart.
I would think it was the Japanese version.
That's what I thought too, because his mom used to buy knockoff stuff all the time. Yep. And so I'm thinking like, yo, there's no way this is. And then he even had mirror mode. So we were playing for always what is it, Myrtle Beach?
The beach. Yeah.
I think it's Cooper. I think it's Cooper Beach, but yeah.
Cooper Beach, and it was reversed. I was like, what, bro? Your game is broken.
Yeah.
You have a broken video game.
Yeah.
That's such a dumb reward, but I really want it.
I know.
I do.
I know. It sounds so dumb. I get it, Pat. It sounds dumb as hell, but hey, that's what you can get. You can get that.
I've never seen this.
Yeah.
Never.
It's
I
like a
never knew
sunset
this was
and
happening.
shit.
Yeah.
Ain't no sunset levels.
Nah.
That's gorgeous.
Just
Hey,
mirror mode.
now I'm curious.
Mario Kart has lighting in any level like that.
Right.
No,
Nah.
and
Exactly.
now I'm curious. Does it do it in the new one?
I don't know, but I know for this one, I just have to, go pull that little fun fact out for y'all just to go.
Did y'all know that in the chat? Hang on, let me ask.
That is crazy.
Did y'all?
Yo, I didn't know. Hey, I didn't know that was real. So I want to apologize to this dude named Robert that I grew up with. I apologize because trust me, I was talking mad shit.
He was better than you too.
He had to be because, bro, you know about how hard that is to do.
Yeah,
bro,
everybody. No, this was neighborhood. Like, I don't, just to bring this up, like back at like video game wise, and this is something great to talk about. Video game wise, growing up, it was dope when you were the man on the block in a video game. Like when people just knew, like I will never forget, like growing up, and then again, I grew up in a time where no phones, no social media, on the bike to go see if your friend is home. When folks who didn't live near you was like, yo, we biking there Saturday because the homie swear he can beat your homie in Mortal Kombat. Be like, bet, we gonna do it. And set up a day for these cats to come into our neighborhood to face us in Mortal Kombat. And I didn't realize just like how epic that is until like now, especially where gaming has come so far. Like imagine like growing up in your neighborhood, Pat, and you're known as the Zelda dude. But like, yo, no, if you want to know how to get the flute to change the date and time in Ocarina of Time, you got to go see Pac-Man.
Nah, I didn't let no information like that out into the streets.
See, we wouldn't let it leak. Kept it all locked in on his.
You see, and then and you would start having the dopest reputation around the block. Khleo, imagine if you was the dude that was undefeated in Mortal Kombat, so much to where you got the uncles now talking about, man, she put some money up, little nigga, let's play.
Jesus,
what you try to do? That's when they want to pull out the bankroll like this, like.
I'd have took that.
What you try to do, young blood?
I'd have took that. Why not? I went for it. It was a hell of a time, man. It was a hell of a time to be able to not even play people online. Like we're so connected by the internet that we could literally play someone in a completely different country. That happens now.
Yeah,
you got and not just one console. When Call of Duty rolled out, the fact that you could be on a PlayStation, a PC, or an Xbox, and all of you can cross play. That's amazing. That's where we are in technology now. Now, I would love to get to the game that's on the front of my list, which is a fighting game. It's not Mortal Kombat, but one of the first games I remember getting for my Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2. And the cover arts was it just stood out so much because I think it's Ryu or Ken fall. Yes, Ryu falling, and then Blanca doing that move, and Chun-Li with the little things underneath her leg that's supposed to be doing her little kicks. Yeah, man. Street Fighter 2.
Though, now that I'm really looking at it, she don't look like prepared for that. I forgot.
This cover made me realize how huge Blanca was.
Really was. He was a beast. He was a monster. But
I really forgot how huge this dude was.
It took me so long to really beat this game with a character because the boss was no joke. Bison was not to be toyed with. You had to really figure out how to beat him. You had to figure out the right footsies, the right counters. Just doing Hadoukens from one end of the screen to the other wasn't gonna help you.
So let's talk about that because that right there is really of key importance, and I want to bring that up because people don't realize just even how technical games were back then. Like
back then,
you played Sekiro, old punk ass game that just is impossible to play without having 83 years of samurai practice before playing this shit. In this game, you had to have a certain strategy in order to beat Bison. And I'll never forget my older brother was having to play with Colonel Guile. And the thing was, he could not do the Sonic Boom move too many times. And he literally had it down to a science to where how he would have to dodge, how he would have to flip, and how he had to kick, and that you couldn't go from behind because then he'll teleport and then be able to block anything that you throw at him.
Yeah, man.
Now, he had this thing down to a science, and it took him like a week to beat Bison.
Listen, man. The characters in Street Fighter 2, I feel like this was the pinnacle of it. When Street Fighter 3 rolled out, I really didn't jump into it, but I remember playing Street Fighter 2 so much. I remember Ryu and Ken, of course, they're like shadow characters, but then we look at the lineup. There's Guile, there's Vega, there's Sagat, there's the Haslem, there's Zangief, Chun-Li.
So
crazy to think there's only one girl character in this whole game. I just realized that. Wow.
Yeah.
Even back then. There's only one. Sagat versus Blanca. And Blanca's shocking special move was so hard to do. Ridiculous. It was not easy.
Blanca was the biggest disappointment in Street Fighter history because his design is dope, but I hated playing as him. He was
trash, man.
If he would have had moves like Eddie and Tekken, it would have been phenomenal. Or like Saber Wolf and Killer Instinct, that would have been fire.
Big facts, man.
For real though.
But who was your main that you went to in Street Fighter 2? Because I know mine.
Ryu,
okay.
always, man. I tried to switch over to Ken, and then Vega always was so cool to me because he was, I believe he was from Spain, and I believe he was like what are the bulls? Matador. He like had the whole Matador type of aesthetic to him.
Yep.
And he could jump off the wall, which was like the only character that could do that. And I was like, yo, that's dope. When I figure out how to do that, I'm gonna be able to tear Khadeem up. Never could figure it out. And then Vega's mask could fall off, and then his claws could fall off, and he wasn't cool anymore. Which was kind of cool. It was a cool thing to add to a character, especially during this time. But yeah, Ryu was for sure my main.
I went backwards with Street Fighter because when it came down to Street Fighter Mortal Kombat, I was always Mortal Kombat. It had blood, fatalities. You know what I mean? I was like the art of Street Fighter, but preference, I was always Mortal Kombat. It wasn't until Street Fighter Alpha that I really started playing it, and I was a big fan of Guy, the dude who can jump with the long legs. He can jump off the screen. That was his name, right, Guy?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was Guy.
He's not in most games. But then I sort of like started appreciating this game, and I like Sagat and Sagat and Ryu.
Sagat.
Sound like a sir, you fucking
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Mine was Dhalsim. Dhalsim was my guy, man. Long range, could throw fireballs and stuff like that. Man, my brother hated playing me in that shit every time.
I didn't like Dhalsim.
You didn't like him?
Mm-mm.
Nobody does. Like if you play with him, people just don't like him after you play with him. They're just like
stretchy witch doctor. I didn't see the appeal.
I didn't understand why he was there.
When they redesigned him for one of the new Street Fighter games, they actually gave him a turban. They gave him a beard. It was
Dhalsim.
Yeah, no, it was Street Fighter 5. They gave him that whole aesthetic, bro. They just fell into it. They were just like, yeah, we know y'all know who he is.
Yeah, but the thing, even for him, okay, so like Sagat, Dhalsim, and then and Bison, none of them had eyes. They were always white, and I couldn't figure out like, okay, so is he a bad guy?
Bison,
he didn't have no eyes. Like it was no pupils.
Yeah, they ain't got no pupils.
No irises.
He didn't have any pupils.
Yeah, I thought he was a bad guy.
He was.
Okay,
Dhalsim also did.
But exactly.
So I think Dhalsim actually was bad before he switched over.
Oh wow.
I think he was, because remember too, like, isn't Cammy like bad? Cammy works for Bison.
Cammy works for Shadowloo. Oh
yeah,
Cammy's bad for a whole nother reason.
Oh god, Cammy.
That too.
Cammy bad.
Those are those scars on her legs, or are they paint? What is it?
Scars.
Don't care.
Don't give a
damn.
damn.
If you think about it, like they
don't care.
Dragon Ball Z got the same ones, like on Nappa and stuff with the X.
Shout out to Chris
don't
Brown.
Make that connection, man.
I got to give a shout out to Chris Brown because he has Cammy tattooed on him. And I saw it and I was like, you got Cammy tattooed on you?
Why?
Yeah.
Is he main as her or something?
He don't play Street Fighter. I know he ain't played on video games like that, but for sure has Cammy tattooed on him. Couldn't believe
Why?
when I saw it.
I don't understand.
Couldn't
I would
believe it when I
tattoo
saw
Laura
it. He has
Croft
a Cammy tattoo, bro.
So it would
I
at least
guess.
be like the first video game crush, like Lara Croft or something.
Right. So let me ask y'all this: as far as Street Fighter goes, what fighting style would you want? If you can embody anybody's fighting style, powers, and all, who would you choose?
Ooh.
I always like Guile's fighting style. It was very just like up here.
Bro. All
Oh,
here.
that goddamn Sonic Boom shit.
Boom!
That was tight. But I mean, Ryu's fighting style is just hard. The spinny kick thing has always been my favorite move in Street Fighter.
So I would have to go with Ken's because you bring up Ryu's spinning kick, but Ken's was the one where he would throw it and then the last kick would come over like an overhead and knock people down. I always like Ryu's spin, and then he definitely had more of the fire-based attacks as well. And then
I didn't like Ken's moveset.
Huh?
I didn't really like Ken's moveset.
It's the same as Ryu's. It's just they're tweaked a little bit. They're tweaked to be as his own thing. But Guile's low sweep was always weird to me because he could do two sweeps.
Yeah.
Guile's was like one, and then he would come through with the other leg. That was
right.
What?
And you needed that. And you needed that to beat Bison too.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I gotta go with Ryu. I mean, excuse me. I'm going with Ken Masters for sure.
Man, I gotta go with Akuma, man.
Yeah.
Akuma.
Akuma's very similar to Ryu, though.
He's just about that shit.
The Dark Hidu.
That was your favorite character, Akuma?
Yeah, because I like that his was more like he had more of a fearless type of fighting style. Like he wasn't hindered by anything. Like I always felt like Ryu held back for some reason, and Akuma didn't. Like Akuma, when he fought to whoop your ass.
That was his whole aesthetic. This whole vibe was like, yo, I'm out here only searching for a challenge. And it ain't for just like for fun, bro. I'm trying to off you.
Right.
So I can be the number one fighter on earth.
And Goku does the same thing. It's just he does it in such a playful way that no one says anything. So
well, Goku goes planet to planet and Akuma goes game to game. He's like, all right, Tekken, what y'all doing in here?
What y'all said? Come here,
Hachi. What up?
Hey, Hachi had to catch all of the Akuma feet.
Akuma is going to mess around and end up in God of War and get hands put on him by Kratos. It's going to take Kratos for Akuma to be like, let me not go into every game.
Right. You know what? Let me go there. Matter of fact, let me go see what these little Nintendo cats doing. Get back and get
bring them in Smash? Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
That'd be weird. I don't like that.
So I think my game, I'm taking it really back and kind of nostalgic. But it also still is one of them games like Mario 64 that stands the test of time. I think everyone has played this. You may have forgot it, but as soon as I say the name, it's going to bring back sweet memories. My game is Metal Slug.
Oh yes,
Metal Slug.
Yes.
Now let me just paint y'all a picture, man. I want to take y'all back to 9-year-old Pharaoh, man. 9-year-old Pharaoh is 5'11" with glasses.
Still a big guy.
High shorts.
Nerd.
High shorts.
Converses. And
why'd you have high shorts?
Because it's Texas and it was hot. So not just a little above the knee.
You get some thigh meat out.
What's the bully from The Simpsons name?
Just a little under part.
Nelson, yeah, that's
how. Yeah, I had the Nelsons.
Wow.
With the polo shirt on because my dad, for some reason thought swag was polo shirts for a child in elementary school. Whatever, I've dealt with it. It's not an issue. But on Fridays, my mom would take me to this pizza joint called Pizza Inn. Do y'all remember this? Did y'all ever have like pizza nights? Like get ready for the weekend and stuff. So I would go with her to go pick up the pizza, and it's called this place called Mazzio's. And so Mazzio's, she'd be waiting for the pizza to be done and get ready. And then they had like this small little arcade. So I went in there, and the first thing I see is Metal Slug.
Yeah.
I start playing this game, and I have not stopped being a fan ever since. I think by far like one of the top games of all time. I'm putting it up there, man. I know it's got a lot of competition, but like, yo, I don't think no one would, if you be like, yo, play this right now, no one's gonna be like, no.
So what do you think it was about the second one that made that one the most popular?
You could just do more. It was like things that you would wanted to have in Metal Slug, they put in 2. And it was like, okay, thank you. That's all we need. That was all we
Kind
need.
of problematic. I don't know if this game, I'm looking at the footage, it's straight up 2 white Americans going in the middle of the Middle East and just killing.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, no, off top, yeah, there's that. But like the game gets into aliens, like aliens attack the world, so they end up, fighting off extraterrestrials. They get different Gundams / mechs to jump inside of.
Yep.
The boss battles were always pretty legit. I'm with you, Will. This is for sure, and I don't even know how to really describe Metal Slug. How do you describe it? It's a side shooter, side scroller. What do you really break this game down as? And you have to have a lot of strategy when playing this game. You have to.
It's in a class of its own. I mean, there's a lot of shooters that would either I just haven't heard about because they weren't popping like that, or they just stole this format completely because it's just like it's so much going on, but it's still manageable and it's like really, really fun. And one thing is just like everything. Like I remember when I first played this game, everything's very intuitive. Like you just, even though there's a million things going on, you kind of off top know what to do. And I think that takes a lot of good direction in the game for sure.
Everything was active too. Like everything you were kind of around was active. Like stuff would pop out from the behind the backgrounds, like little spaces and stuff, and then like soldiers would come out. So you had to kind of be like weary of that and not get attacked. And so, bro, it was so much fun because once you started, you want to keep going. And I just know, like, even back then, that was where you had to put quarters in. So it was like, yo, every time we go back in there, I'm just like, yo, let me see how far I can get. Like, I didn't play no other game in that arcade except one, and that was Cruising Racing Worldwide. That was it.
Cruising USA?
Cruising USA, yeah, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Cruising USA.
When you had to double hit the gas and the turbo take off.
That was like one of the only regular racing games that I liked. That wasn't like all over the top because that was very meat and potatoes racing.
And so every time it's like, yo, please continue. I'd have like $5 in quarters. I just make sure if I die, and keep going, just see how far I could get. And then like when you got like the partner and you could command both of them and stuff like that. It's just it's a game that never got old.
Co-op is dope. There a lot of people. This is interesting. I've never really heard it compared to that, but I off top see it. People are comparing it to Contra.
Yeah,
I never really thought of that because you're on the ground, but it's very, very similar in the sense that you're just getting all these weapons and just like unloading and moving around. Just you know what I mean? It's weird. It's like a Contra on foot. It's pretty cool.
Which is another one of my favorite games as well. So, I might have to bring that up in another episode of, games that define us. So,
what were the name of the characters? Because true story, I was embarrassed when I found this out, but I'm gonna share this with the all deaf gaming community and my arcade tokens brothers. I thought the character's name was Khleo because I'm at the arcade and I hear someone playing it for the first time. And they're choosing their characters, and I hear Khleo, and I'm like, the hell? So I walk to the back of the arcade, and I see Metal Slug for the very first time, and I'm like, yo, I gotta jump in. But that's not the character's name.
So what'd you hear?
I heard Khleo, but the character's
name.
Heard
your mom?
No, I heard the game say my name, but no, it turns out the character's name is Theo. I was like,
Theo
with an F.
Theo?
Oh, Theo?
Theo. F-I-O. Theo.
Really?
Yeah, man.
What was the other character's name?
I don't know who the other characters are, really. I don't. I know there's one with the red jacket. There's one with the yellow jacket. And then
it's Marco Rossi.
Marco. Yep, I know that one.
Yeah. Marco Rossi and Tarma Roving. That was the two in the first game. Okay. And I guess in the second installment was Eri Kasamoto and Fiolina Fio Jeremy. These are horrible names, by the way.
Ridiculously horrible.
Yeah, they're up there for me.
Marco Rossi.
One of the very first games when my brother bought me the limited edition PSP, the God of War edition for Christmas. And one of the very first games I told him to put on there for sure was Metal Slug, man. So I'm with you on that one, Will. It's just something about it. Like it's timeless too. Like we could pull that up right now and genuinely have a good time trying to beat it.
Yeah, we would. We would not get tired of it. That's one of those, like you said, stand the test of time, man. So we got through our first round of games that define us. So we're just gonna take a brief commercial break. We gotta pay our sponsors. And gotta do these commercial things. So we'll be right back in just a minute.
Hello, guys. I hope you enjoyed your commercial break.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to our sponsors over here at All Def Gaming. So we're just, if you just tuning in, this is Games That Define Us. We had mentioned that Pat had brought up the classic Mario Kart 64 as a game that defined him. Loved it for the scenes, loved it for the nostalgia of it all. Mine was Metal Slug, a way throwback to the arcade days.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, another one that's also standing the test of time, like Mario Kart 64. And for Khleo, Street Fighter 2, one of the institutions for some folks in video game fighting. So those are some definitely heavy hitters. So I am curious to see what y'all's second choice is. And we're gonna flip the script. We're gonna take it to the wolf of PlayStation and let him go with his second choice for a game that defined him.
All right. So this is gonna come out of left field. I'm telling y'all right now. You're not expecting this. I wasn't expecting this, but then I had to really think about it. What was some like a game that really helped mold my mind and what got me really through gaming?
Listen, Khleo, you said Altered Beast was a good game, so nothing's gonna surprise me now.
We're not even gonna have this discussion live on camera anymore about
Stop dissing Altered Beast, bro.
Right, having this thing against Altered Beast.
I got one more time.
It was a great concept. If you would have played it back then when it was actually out, you would have known how great it was.
I got one more time.
Pat, did you enjoy it?
Moving on.
Not a great game, but yeah, keep going.
Moving on. The next game on my list of games that define me is Pac-Man. As simple as that. Pac-Man.
Come on.
Arcade. This was an arcade classic. Pac-Man is one of the most legendary characters in all of gaming. And look how his game was. Think about it. It's a maze. You got 4 ghosts chasing you. You got little power-ups in each corner that make you, the hunter instead of the hunted during the levels. I've always been a fan of the Pac-Man video games. You got to play strategically. You got to plan out and plot out your next moves. You got to keep an eye on all of these ghosts getting ready to come to you. Now, for some odd reason, I don't know why exactly, Mrs. Pac-Man was more successful than the original Pac-Man. Don't know how it happened.
Differently, didn't it?
Not that I recall.
No, it didn't. It really didn't. The only difference was the ghosts were different. That was about it. The ghosts were just a little bit fatter, but it was literally the same concept.
And she had a red bow.
No, it says critics for its improvements to the original gameplay and a female protagonist, some labeling it as superior to Pac-Man.
How? I wonder why. I got to talk about the ghosts. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. There they go. Look at the little
Clyde. Why did he break the rhyme scheme?
Who knows? He's orange. Who knows? He had to get him up out of here. They was like, you know what? Name his ass Clyde. And throw him out there, throw him into the game, man.
This sounds like a bad group of henchmen that decide to go out on their own, and it's not going well.
I've really always enjoyed this game. I could play this game today and really try to put my all into it and really try to beat the game, man. Now, I don't know how many levels there are in Pac-Man. I've heard that there's it's unlimited, and if you go to a certain extent, though, it will freeze even on the actual arcade
It's
cabinets.
256. 256 is that number.
Are you serious?
256
What?
is that number.
256 levels?
Yeah, is where Pac-Man will
Are you
start stop locking up. Yeah, 256 is the.
And then it locks up,
and
right?
it locks up. Yeah.
Yo.
That's
That's-
crazy.
I'm not sure.
What do
if
you
y'all-
mean it locks up? There's you can't win?
So
The
No,
game
it
freezes.
stops.
it runs.
Like,
It runs. It
stops.
pretty much runs out of memory. Is pretty much what happens. Obviously, back in the day,
Yo.
they didn't have enough RAM. Like this didn't have enough RAM to keep going. Like I'm not sure if you guys noticed if you guys download the new Pac-Man, it's literally called Pac-Man 256. Like that's what they start naming a lot of the games now because of that just that old thing that the game would lock up after that time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Always been a fan of Pac-Man, man, especially within the arcades because you always saw Pac-Man sitting next to Galaga. And those two go hand in hand to me when I think of gaming. Galaga's another one. I know we don't have any clips to bring up right now, but Galaga for sure is one of those as well that stands out to me as one of the games that define me. Because when I first found out about when you can let the enemy take your ship and then it rotates and now he's on their side and then you shoot the ship that captured yours and then now you got two shooters to blast these aliens, bruh, I was like, this is the most incredible cheat hack thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
I'll never forget that,
Crazy.
man.
Yep.
I'm looking at a side by side of like the actual differences, and there really aren't a lot. It's like the maze colors are different.
We're all the same, bro.
There's more mazes. It says Pac-Man has one maze and Mrs. Pac-Man has 4 mazes, none of which duplicate anything from the original Pac-Man. It says that there's different there's each maze has 240 dots in the original and the new one has varying. The ghost movement is a little bit more random. Like it's just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is wild. I don't get it.
And then each ghost had was specific. Like they had a specific formula to how they moved. I remember reading about that before. I should have pulled it up before we got on live today. But each ghost has a specific formula to how they move on the map. One chases you. One chases you. One only goes clockwise. One only goes counterclockwise. So there's a way to trick each ghost to where you just run through it once you figure out the formula.
It's crazy. Like I feel like Pac-Man is low key everyone knows it's the grandfather of all games, but I didn't really realize how much design was taken. Like if you see how Pac-Man is built, you can almost see like a lot of other video game mascots are somewhat built like that. Nintendo has a lot of between putting eyes on the ghosts, you know what I mean? Like Nintendo has a lot of things that they stole, I guess just was inspired by. Like Pac-Man is kind of just like the perfect game if you think about it.
Oh yeah, it is, man.
Get there. Oh, he didn't get
there. I know,
there.
right? I know everybody just got real distracted, like, yo.
He didn't get there. I wanted him to get it.
You know what I think it could have been? This Pac-Man isn't really like humanized. It's just like a shape. Whereas Mrs. Pac-Man had an eye, had lipstick, had a bow. You know what I mean? It really seemed like a character. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it being.
Well, that too, and the original one, he was trying to chase her. He was trying to grab her.
Boom.
And stuff like that. He was trying to get his wife. The ghosts were chasing her. And so that was like the original story. But for some reason, I think too, another thing was that there wasn't really like a female presence in there. And then like so many people started like liking it, especially in Japan. Because at first people liked Pac-Man, but then when they saw the woman, people like really took towards it. Because there's like comic books of like Pac-Man. Like a lot of people don't know that and stuff like that. Like if you see like the original arcade machine and like how they're drawn, like with like the ghosts have like legs and arms and stuff like that. And so it comes from like a comic book that they used to make of Pac-Man. And so she kind of became like this huge success.
Yeah, man.
So that probably could have been the reason that they took it over. But that is going to be like, I want y'all to keep in mind about that game because I have a segment that we're going to add into this a little bit later that I want y'all to think about. So just keep that in mind.
Shout out to Mrs. Pac-Man, ladies taking over for the 99 and the 2000.
Yeah,
man, eating up all them dots. But I guess I'll go into mine. My game is probably very rarely heard of. It is probably not known the most. It is definitely one of those, not saying it's the best of all time or anything. This is definitely a close to me type video game. Not trying to convince anyone to play it. Not trying to convince anyone to be like, yo, you gotta try this.
Where's he going with this?
Just throwing this out there. So my pick is Digimon Rumble Arena on PlayStation. Yes. Digimon Rumble Arena had to be one of the funnest. It was a fighting game. So it was like Mortal Kombat, but it was with the Digimon characters. And so what was cool about it, the more you fought, you would gain your powers and you could make them digivolve. And so each time they digivolve, they had different fighting tactics and everything. And
nigga said ew.
Hey man. Hey, don't judge me, okay? All right, don't judge me. It was my game. I enjoyed it. If you were a fan of Digimon, okay, then you would have enjoyed this game too. No one gives anybody any gripes about Pokemon Snap, which is y'all just taking pictures of dumbass Pokemon on a fucking video game that you can't even play.
That game was hard.
It was hard to watch. You're right. Yes, it was. So,
can we see gameplay footage? Okay, let me see this.
Yes.
Yo, the character select screen low-key hard though. I didn't expect that.
I'm telling y'all, this
Wait a minute, hold on.
This was such a slept on.
I'm just going ahead and warn you, Will, this game did not age well, bro. I'm sorry. I'm just let you know. It did not age as well as it did.
That's why I said I would not recommend to go back and play it. Like I would tell you with Mario Kart 64, would not recommend you to do this.
I'm liking it so far.
Oh yeah, look, this looks amazing. Watch this gameplay though.
Right.
Yeah, listen. The menu screens are dope.
They screwed this game up because they tried to go crazy with the graphics, and these characters don't look as cool as they look in the actual character selection screen. I'm gonna be pissed.
It's gonna happen, and I'm sorry.
Ramen Paladin mode.
Paladin mode. Go ahead.
Oh shoot!
Fumble.
Yo, look at the Smash level. What is this?
This is how the fight was. I'm telling y'all.
Oh,
now
I know the nigga who designed the main menu was pissed off when he met the nigga who designed gameplay. He's like, bro, I set you up for a slam dunk.
Yo. Okay. Will, explain to me what's going on here. What is this thing in the middle of the level that looks like they're trying to run to? What is that? Is that an energy charging thing?
Yeah. So you gain that to be able to gain your master charge, and you can throw your special. So like if you remember like Agumon, remember like when he had his final form and he throw that big ass spirit bomb and stuff?
Yep.
That's what they'll do on here. And then you can throw that at them as one of your attacks and stuff. So like back in the Gap, this was dope. Like when you needed something different besides Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, because you know, like that was the wave. And then sometimes if you wasn't good at Mortal Kombat, you get out of the loop. Like you remember like the click of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter cats? Like that was around your plate, the area you lived that played around, and it was like, yo, we finna play Mortal Kombat. It's like, man, you know I ain't good at this shit. You win all the time. So you had to go find other options. And this was one of them.
I don't like the connection when they hit each other. It's like they're not even really interacting. It's kind of just like a pass through. But I will give it this. If you did not know that Smash Bros existed, this would be dope. I would like to see another level. This level is kind of weird, but if the whole like multiple fighting on multiple levels as opposed to just like right here is pretty dope. So I could see how this led to Smash Bros. Whoever made Smash Bros for sure watched this game or had, I don't know. If this is American, we probably stole it first, but
most likely.
So my question is character selection. Did these two, whoever we're seeing in gameplay, did they just choose the ultimate forms of Digimon?
Yes, exactly.
Or could you choose a lower level?
Yeah, exactly. They just chose the best Digimon in the game, pretty much. Is who's fighting right now. But yeah, you can choose Agumon and all the ones that we do know from back in the day.
Yeah. It's the same thing like Budokai. Like you could either pick Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or you could get Goku
and start leveling them up,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but it was a cool game. Like I said, to step outside of like the normal games, just be having something different. It was something me and my friends really enjoyed. And this was around the time that and this is just this ballerina. I couldn't find the other footage for the original one before like the new Pokemon like Vmon and them came in, but that was during the time where like Digimon was dope as the TV show. The TV show was so great. I love Digimon, the TV show.
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
I like I mean, it was dope. It was just a tough follow up to
To them Pokemon.
Pokemon, yeah.
To
Yeah.
them
Like,
damn
that's how I
pocket
felt
monsters.
about. I really liked the show Beetleborgs after Power Rangers came out,
Yeah.
but it was still like Beetleborgs, VR Troopers. There was a whole bunch of really good ripoffs, but nothing ever touched the OGs.
Hey, you know what's another one that really, like, because of Pokemon, it got buried, but it would have got such shine if Pokemon hadn't came out? Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, no, you gotta watch Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hold on.
Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, story-wise, Pat, you would love Yu-Gi-Oh! And
I mean,
then
I
just
can't say anything after I denied Naruto for so long.
watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And just watch like season 1, 2, and 3. Everything else is just like, go ahead. But like, and then the card game itself, like the monsters, is so dope. Like when they flip them and this dude comes and turns these like this massive ass like blue eyes white dragon into a toon version of it, bro.
Funny.
That shit
Funny.
was crazy.
But when Yu-Gi-Oh was able to put all the cards on the table and Exodia Obliterate happened, you knew it was game over after that. Like, okay, what else is there to do now?
Yeah, you lost.
And then all the Millennium pieces. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
had the chain.
Hey.
Yu-Gi-Oh had the eye. Someone had a staff. Listen,
Yo,
I
hey,
haven't
real
watched
shit.
Yu-Gi-Oh in some time, but I for sure want to go back to it and really revisit it and see if it could really stand up to what we thought it was.
Bro, I'm telling you, I was watching it on Netflix now because it's on Netflix. There's season 2 when you start really learning about the Millennium pieces,
Yeah.
bruh, the only thing you're gonna really get mad at is just like, I kind of wish these people were black, because it's heavy into the Egyptian side of this. But it's so much that goes on. I'm letting y'all know now, like when Arcade Tokens is up and All Dev Gaming is, where it needs to be, I'm letting y'all know now. I'm getting all of us Millennium game pieces.
I love it.
I'm not even gonna tell you which ones I'm getting you, but all of us, like you, Khleo, Zordon, myself, we getting Millennium pieces.
I like
Like
it.
what? Chains?
I like
No,
it.
it's items. It's the Millennium items. So you don't know what you're gonna get.
Let me get mine on a chain.
You can put it on the chain if you
Put
want.
mine on a Cuban link.
Let me get mine on the Franco, my nigga.
Right.
Please. Let me get that.
Yeah, man. So, Pat, what is your second game that defines you?
Man, I guarantee nobody in here played my game, but let me just paint a picture for you, okay?
Let's do it.
Picture a young Pat doing whatever the hell young Pat did. It was a cold winter day, and I hear that my next door neighbor across the street, I guess not next door, but neighbor across the street, has a new system that's called the video games, right? I go across the street, they're like, man, I got this new shit. It's called a PlayStation. He does the whole puts the disc in. Now this dude was white, so this is why this was his choice, but it ended up being my first game on PlayStation ever. And this was ESPN's Extreme Games. All right. It was PlayStation. You can even tell by the art style. When PlayStation 1 came out, all the art kind of looked like that. It was just like super like it was very like extreme. But what was dope about this game was it was like pre Mario Kart. No, excuse me. It was more like pre Diddy Kong. You got to race each other on a BMX bike, a skateboard, rollerblades, or luge, which is like the one where you're like rolling down.
Word?
Yeah, and it was super dope. Like this brings back memories. You have, you started off here, you got to change all the maps. You went to like Utah, Lake Tahoe, you know what I mean? Like all these dope ass places around the world, London, and you got to choose. You see, this is crazy. You got to see it. They have rollerblades selected right now in the top right, but the microphone changes what you want to do. And then you literally go to that part of the world and race. And man, we put hours into this game. Is there any gameplay footage for this? There was a
yeah, it's about to start in just a second. They're about to go right there. You go.
There was a sequel. It's called 2 Extreme.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a sequel on that sequel called 3 Extreme.
They said there was one 3 Extreme.
Yep.
I don't remember getting into 3 Extreme, but damn, this is crazy.
You are not alone, sir.
And we were all
played this, Will?
Yeah, actually, This was the first game I played on PlayStation.
Wild.
Because I did not I got the system and it didn't come with the games. My parents thought it came with video games, and so they didn't get me it.
Right.
What it came with was the little giveaway to get PlayStation Magazine. And there was a demo. And in this demo was this game. And it was the snowboarding level.
Bro, if you didn't have a demo, you were buried.
Yeah,
they didn't have anything else. If you didn't have the little disc that came with either like you said, a magazine or came with the PlayStation itself, that's how we found out about there wasn't even YouTube yet. So you can see he just completely disrespected a luge. You could punch each other. It was like, and you could literally like fight as you go. There was you go to Africa and there was just like elephants and shit on the it was pretty racist, but like you got to buy clothes and different like items. There was like early versions of customization in this, and it was dope. Like you could see like it was just really early extreme games culture, which was super dope.
There's a guy in this chat, Quincy Peterkin, who says, "You guys are blowing my mind right now. He hasn't thought about this game in so long." So Pat, we gotta give it to you, brother. You definitely just pulled on this guy's nostalgia heartstrings.
I'm sorry.
You guys talked about the PlayStation Magazine and the demo disc. Does anyone remember when Pizza Hut had PlayStation demo discs?
Yep.
No, I don't think so.
I do. It was attached to the pizza box.
Yeah, man.
It was attached to the pizza box.
Yeah, man.
Huh. It was on. Oh, they sent you a pizza with the disc on it.
Yeah. It was they put a sticky thing just like how they did on the PlayStations or the magazines when you used to get them. Mm-hmm. They would have it just like that on the pizza box, and it was exclusive, like because it was just exclusive Pizza Hut CDs. And then what was crazy about it too, just growing up and being a little bit older, PlayStation wouldn't even have that shit packaged. Like that was Pizza Hut. So Pizza Hut would send like these CDs that PlayStation sent them, and you had to package them at Pizza Hut. And so they would have to package them, and every time they'd have an order that was for that, they'd have to slap it on the pizza box, and then it would go with them.
Pat, look at the heavy hitting games that were involved on this demo disc that you could get from Pizza Hut. You ready?
Okay.
Crash Bandicoot Warped, Medieval, Metal Gear Solid,
wow,
Gran Turismo, Tomb Raider 3.
Whoa, wait. So Tomb Raider and Crash was already on the third one by the time Metal Gear came out?
Pretty much. They put it all on a disc.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Metal Gear Solid was a few years later.
Hold on. But there's another one. Khadeem, you know which one I'm trying to find that had it on it.
No, I mean, I remember this one pretty well. I remember Metal Gear Solid. That was like the first time I played. It only made it to pretty much the elevator. If anyone's played Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
It only makes it to pretty much the elevator scene. You know what I mean? You get past that first scene, and then you up the elevator, and that's it. That's the demo.
So there was two discs.
We are getting old, guys, because it's crazy. Like retro games when we were first starting were like Pac-Man and Mario 1. But now, like looking at that, I was like, yo, that is a very retro game. And it's crazy. I knew I was talking about this game, and just seeing something as easy as the main menu is just like, yo, blast from the past. That's crazy.
Hey, you know what's crazy about that too is I remember when you had the demo and you put it in, it played commercials first.
Yes.
So when you clicked it, no matter what, it was like no matter which one you selected, commercial first. Like, no, take me to the fucking game. I don't want to see this shit. Couldn't skip nothing. I'll never forget that because I remember when they demoed Final Fantasy VII.
Nope.
And sent that. I was like, yo. And then I'll never forget. This one was so hoish about that. So it's the first 10 minutes like they recently just did with the remake to Final Fantasy VII. Most of it is the beginning part of Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. Literally, you just got to do the fight at the train, give yourself a name,
and then that's it.
Coming to PlayStation. I was like,
greatest marketing ever.
I was like, yo, screw this game. I bought it as soon as it came out.
How could you not?
Another one of the discs had Crash Team Racing,
boom,
Ape Escape, Tony Hawk Pro Skaters, Cool Borders 4, and Final Fantasy 8. Bro, what?
PlayStation was in that bag. You know?
You want more?
Sony was giving it to us. It's crazy. Like they were literally just supplying memories and lifestyles for a whole generation of people.
How
so we can never thank Sony enough for that.
How interactive and engaging is that? Who was the person at PlayStation or at Sony that was like, yo, let's do this partnership with Pizza Hut? Our consoles lift up, the pizza box lifts up. Let's do this thing where the disc comes with the box and the kids can get in on it. Bro, that was fucking genius.
Funny thing about it is, like, a lot of people don't know this. The person that somebody in Pizza Hut actually pitched that to Sony. And the reason being is because of their kid. I don't know if it was a boy or girl, I can't remember. But basically, every time that they were playing video games, all their kid wanted was pizza. And so all they ate was, like, when they did Pizza Hut. Nice. Because, of course, that's where she worked. And so every time she passed by, like, that's all they'd be doing is eating pizza and would never leave their room. So they were just like, yo, this stuff with gaming seems to be, like, really something big. And the rest is history, because as
she was the first one to look at a gamer and then look at the pizza box and just be like, this is together. There we go.
Together. But think about it, Pizza Hut is still involved heavy into the video game community.
As they should be.
Yeah. So it's just miraculous that, like, to think of it like when the evolution of video games was about to begin with PlayStation, Pizza Hut's already like, front lines, we're ready.
Yeah. I'm sure they still got a deal from that day. Like, I'm sure they've just been working together ever since in some capacity.
Heck yeah.
That's wild. While we're talking about pizza, though, I do want to shout out Papa John, not the pizza place, but the arcade tokener. He threw us a nice little donation of $3 and asked if we had ever watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo, pose.
Never seen it.
JoJo, pose.
Is that him?
I've watched clips. I have watched clips of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I know it's one of the most iconic animes there is. It has a very loyal fan base. Mm-hmm. There was a brand new TikTok trend that started along with that song. I can't co-sign it just yet. I can't, because I don't know anything else about it. Pat, you?
JoJo is new? That's a new anime?
No, it's not. It's not a new one, but it's been around. I just haven't jumped in on it yet.
But the TikTok thing is based off of that anime?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the same with Khleo. It's kind of just my fault. It's just kind of been like, clips and stuff like that. Seems interesting, but just like, haven't got a chance to get around to it just yet. So, but it has a big fan base and stuff like that from what I've seen, especially just like, like when you put in GIFs and stuff like that, anything that has like 8 Google pages of it, it's like, it must be doing something.
I might check it out. Big shout out to Sydney White as well. She said, did y'all play Ricochet or Raiden on the computer?
No,
I think a lot of people did play Raiden. You just didn't know it was called Raiden.
Raiden, that's the airplane game.
That's the airplane shoot 'em up game, bro. That you people don't know they played Raiden, bro, until you actually see it.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
It's in a lot of arcades. It's in a lot of games. I used to play it all the time at the car wash. Like it's around. You just don't know it's called Raiden.
Oh, I've seen that. You're shooting upwards.
Exactly.
Yes, you are.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
See what I'm saying? No one knows it's actually called Raiden until you actually do some research. Like, oh, that's what that is.
Oh snap!
It's a good game.
It was like a war setting, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you shot similarly to Metal Slug.
Yeah.
So because you can get different type of weapons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do remember that game.
Sydney White also wants to know about. First of all, thank you, Sydney. Shaman King. Shaman.
Never heard of Shaman King.
I haven't jumped in on it yet. Not yet.
Okay. Big shout out to Kayla Gurley. Didn't even say nothing. Just threw that 10. Appreciate you.
Throw that 10 at us.
And Slotty Bob Foster threw us a little GIF. How's it going? Appreciate it. These
Slotty Bob, what up?
Being very generous on their quarantine. And damn, I thought I donated. Cloud Village done threw us some stuff. They said, what about, first of all, thanks for that. I didn't know you guys were a YouTube channel too. That's dope. What about from Ready to Rumble? Afro Thunder was always my go-to. You were just talking about that, right?
Oh no, we're going to play that on this channel. We are going to run that live. Don't you worry. We got Ready to Rumble's coming, fellas.
Whole episode. That's a whole. I don't even want to say it just yet.
It's coming.
It's coming. So we're gonna go to a quick commercial break because we have a segment that I wanted to add into here that I think will be really dope that goes along with this. So we should be back in just a few minutes. Again, we gotta pay our sponsor, so we'll be right back.
Woke up yesterday in a sweat, and I said, how'd I get so hairy? I went on my laptop and said, damn, internet, you scary.
Like I told her, if you just put the tampon away, can't nobody tell you anything and prove you was there.
We're live. We're live.
Oh, welcome back. So, of course, here on Games That Defined Us, we, of course, couldn't, before we get into this segment, one, we have some breaking news we want to give here on All Death Gaming with the arcade tokens as well. But before we get into any of that, we want to also extend it out to Zordon and get his honorable mention of the games that defined him. So, Khadeem, 2 games that defined you.
Okay, I'm gonna make it quick. One is Spider-Man and Venom, Separation Anxiety. Whoever has played this game, I'm gonna let you know right now. It is a beat 'em up. It is hard as hell, and it made me really, really a fan of symbiotes.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna let you guys see the game over screen, which I've seen 1,000 times because I was lost in it. But 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me give you the game over screen. It looks
Yeah,
like.
man. Shout out to Acclaim. They were making some hitters
It
back
looks
in the
like
day.
that. That is the game over screen that you get when you lose this game.
Ooh.
And
Game
you're
with art like that is hard as hell.
that is the dopest game over screen I've ever seen in my life. I obviously saw it a lot because that game I used to lose at that game all the time. So shout out to Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety for
Shout out to Spider-Man not having no L's video game wise.
Yeah, it came out for the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. My other one, there's a lot of people that always bring it up on the thing. I thought I'd put some light to it. We've talked about it a few times as well, and that is Bloody Roar 2.
I liked this game.
Bloody Roar 2 is.
So you remember this game?
You remember this game?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get a little gameplay of that as well. But yeah, Bloody Roar 2 is a good one. Games that defined me. It was a different type of fighting game. You know what I mean? Just real different compared to everything else. So
Yeah, Bloody Roar was up there for us, man, for sure.
yeah, so those are my 2 games that define me, man. 2 games that I've spent a lot of time just trying to beat. Bloody Roar 3 is actually the best one out of the series, and yeah.
Can you give me a quick breakdown, Khadeem, of what was the difference between Separation Anxiety and I know you're playing the gameplay for Bloody Roar 2, but what was the difference between Separation Anxiety and Maximum Carnage?
So the two were made from 2 different companies.
Okay.
One was made from I think LJN, another one was made from Acclaim. Maximum Carnage, I believe, was actually a comic, an actual comic.
Yeah,
So
it is actual story based, which
yeah,
the new movie is gonna be have similarities based off of
yeah.
with
So
the
Maximum Carnage was, and it was
The red,
the red Super
oh,
Nintendo cartridge. It had a completely
that
all
was
red one.
so
Those are
that
dope.
dope as
was
hell.
so
That was
cool.
fire. Yo,
Which one
a
was that?
red cartridge?
Yeah.
So Pat, Maxim, you remember the Super Nintendo cartridge?
Yeah.
So this was the first one that was Maximum Carnage, and it was red. It was a red cartridge, and I'll never forget when you opened the box, and the box was red,
Yeah.
and you pulled it out, and you were like,
All red.
"Yo,
I
All
need that.
bro,
I
you
might
felt
buy
like,
that.
like real shit."
Man.
You felt like your Super Nintendo got taken over
by
someone.
Carnage. Yeah, no, it's that.
So we were like, my Nintendo's about to turn red any second.
Yeah,
Like I no.
I
That's crazy.
prefer the separation anxiety, like gameplay wise and everything like that, and the animation wise. But no, I mean Maximum Carnage is almost the same game. There's really not many differences between the two.
Okay.
Fighting wise, just beat 'em ups. But yeah, those are my two.
Listen, I would be pissed if I was to go get my hands on this game as of today and get it in that regular gray cartridge. Nah, bro. I need the red one. They sold it. They sold the gray one too. Nah.
Like, send this back, B. We don't need this. Send this back.
Quick shout out to Sean TV. Appreciate it. Appreciate the donation. I always thought that those early Spider-Man games were just too difficult. Like there was one on I think Nintendo, not even Super Nintendo. But they literally give you like 3 to 5 lives for the entire game.
Yeah.
And the first level takes a smooth 2 or 3. So on your good days, you're able to see level 2, level 3, level 4 was just like, fam, you need to relax. But I don't see how people really beat those games. But I guess it was like there was no DLC. So once you bought a game like that, if it was that difficult, you could play it forever instead of just running through it, you know?
Yeah. And it was like that. Like they got that from like early Nintendo games. Like that's how Terminator was set up. That's how Batman was set up. A lot of things like that. Yeah, it was just way too much.
Too much.
So now we got some breaking news for some that do know, for some that don't know. We're still gonna go ahead and talk about it here with the arcade tokens and all Def Gaming. But I'm going to let Patrick bring this in because he's the one that alerted us of this, and we're all quite excited. So, Pat, would you take it away?
All right, you're talking about the controller, right?
Yes.
All right, so Sony actually just dropped the official PlayStation 5 wireless controller. This is it. The reason why it's so interesting to me is number one, I kind of like it. And I don't really like stuff, but it's changing what I thought the PlayStation 5 itself is going to look like. PlayStation was always really, really good at pairing their controller to their console design. So my original thought was like, okay, this looks a little too close to Xbox. It has like a little Xbox 360 feel. I hate Xbox. But the more I look at it, the more I like it. I like the two-tone. And in my opinion, if the PlayStation comes out two-tone, if it's white with black, I'm down. That's just what I think. I kind of like it though.
I mean, I'm down either way, you know, as a person who was, you know, formerly under the regime of Xbox, but was finally liberated back to his home country of PlayStation. Glad to see, you know, the update and the leadership is continuing to elevate the platform, man. You know what it really reminds me of? Like, when you see like Titanfall, these other places that have like these mech suits and stuff.
That's what I thought of too, for sure. Like a Destiny suit.
Yeah, so like imagine if they're like holding that, like flying a drone or something, like this would be the controller that they use and stuff. So and for me, I just love that stuff. Like I love mech suits and everything like that. So like the doper you make them, the I'm with it. So I just think this is definitely a step in the right direction, and I'm just, you know, I'm ready to see
the future to me.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like Kleo's a fan.
Oh no! I'm in.
Really?
I am in. Listen.
Wait, are you serious?
No, dead ass.
Oh, I completely misread. You were like,
I thought he was too.
I'm in. I just have so many things that I want to really talk about with this. I know we're running short on time, but the features that they're talking about this remote controller is going to have a microphone. No more headsets to talk to your friends while you're playing.
Oh, wow.
You'll be able to talk to your friends while playing through the actual remote controller. Now, we don't know how the mic is going to pick up, because usually where's your, you're right about here. You're not here playing the game. So
I ain't gonna lie though, that speaker on them PS4 controllers hit
pretty loud.
But if you think about it, if anyone were to pay attention to detail, the Japanese would.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure if the only reason they put that there, it's probably mind-blowingly crisp.
Good. Okay.
It has to be. I don't think they would slack in that area.
So
I don't think so.
That rollout. The fact that they're saying the haptic feedback within the game. So even maybe pressing buttons will have a haptic feedback where you'll feel a slight vibration instead of just touching a button and not, of course it goes on the screen, whatever command you're doing, but for the controller to maybe give you a slight vibrating nudge, similar to when you're typing. Some phones, if you type, it has a haptic feedback on touchscreens. Anyone ever experienced that?
Yeah.
So in the chat, you guys know what I'm talking about. So there's that. The fact someone brought up something I was originally going to say in the chat, the fact it looks like Eve or Eva from WALL-E.
It does.
That's what it reminds me of. Like, that is the perfect type. Like, the arms are like this. Like, that's her. That's Eve.
WALL-E.
I'm in for it. I actually own a white PS4 and I have the white remote. It looks like every other, PS4 remote, but the actual two-tone of that original PS4 in all white, it looks kind of like this. So I'm very curious, though. Will we have an all blacked out remote in reverse colorway, or will it just simply be black?
Are we going
look, it's her. That's what it looks like to me.
And that's why I feel like it looks like the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They chose a color wave that's associated with this robot, like Will mech suits. You know what I mean? They chose like almost like a Star Trek color wave. And the reason why I'm excited about that is that PlayStation was always dark tones. It was always gray, and then it was black. They had alternates and custom ones that were white, but the main one was never white. Like, that was just never a PlayStation thing. PlayStation is a very dark console, even the game and the tones. So like, this is so interesting to me because it's like, this is really the only way that they could have gone from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like a white, crispy, futuristic looking machine. And now what's interesting is, you guys remember that custom, like it was like a leak of what it was supposed to look like, but it was more than likely a dev kit. Now I'm thinking it might look like some shit like that now. You know what I mean? It might be
console
that's crazy like that looks kind of like a spaceship. Now that I see this, because it's like they've been kind of going in the hard drive. It seems like the last few ones just look like this. But if they were to switch it up, I think it would be dope for them to just have like something that was a completely different color than they're used to, but also like a different shape, like just like a interesting shape. I hope that's what they go with.
I wouldn't mind that either. You know, it'd be funny, two things. What if like the controller looked like this, but the PlayStation built like WALL-E? Just fucking like, yo, that'd be hilarious.
I wouldn't mind that. It's kind of big, but I wouldn't mind that. But
one thing I will say is just kind of like looking at that, it's just crazy what they're gonna have set for the future, man. Just, it's that stuff looks amazing. And just two, I could see them moving like in the direction out of this colorway. So maybe like toning down from the black and moving kind of to this white. So just imagine, imagine if for PS5, white screen, the old PlayStation sound with the blue PS logo fading into it. An updated PS sound.
A lot of nostalgia hitting right there.
Man, there's so much crazy. Like, I love just looking at this picture because it's like I've had every PlayStation and every PlayStation blew my mind. You know what I mean? So it's like with where graphics are right now already with recent games, and the fact that I'm reading stuff that Sony's saying this is going to be a completely new look. This is completely like, this is changing video games. Just looking at this controller is just like, damn, like with this instrument, we're about to see some of the best gaming we've seen in our entire lives. And like our careers, now that we've positioned ourselves in gaming, like this is like one of the newest tools that we're going to use in all of this. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's like, it's really interesting. Like, I don't even know what they have planned, but I know it's going to go through this controller.
What's crazy was even when they initially rolled out the PS4 controller, I don't know if you guys ever played it, but there was this game that was out on maybe like the first initial rollout, and it allowed you to use your PS4 remote controller to kind of aim and shoot. Does anyone remember this?
Yeah, I do remember that.
So the fact that that was a part of its initial rollout for the PS4, and they never built upon it. You know, everyone's like, maybe the world's not ready. Let's just get back to character-based video games. Maybe the tech side, maybe that's not for us yet. Let's leave that to the Nintendo Switch. Or excuse me, the Wii and stuff like that.
It worked with Gran Turismo, but it was hard to, and then too, it was one of the features that it worked with them because that was a PlayStation exclusive game, so they had the development to do it. But that was a feature you couldn't ask all these other game developers to do. You couldn't ask Mortal Kombat to do this exclusively for that because nobody was going to change their whole programming of their game to make that kind of feature. And so that's why I think too it kind of died out.
Yeah. The fact that, you know, with the Wii's and the stuff back then, we used to have to put a sensor bar on our TVs in order for the remotes to catch.
I didn't like that about the Wii, but I understood.
I actually had a fun fact about that whole sensor bar, bro. So I forgot that Wii sensor bar, right? One day I was trying to play the Wii, forgot it. I looked it up. Of course, I can't take full credit for it, but I looked it up. And do you know if you actually light 2 candles and put it underneath your TV, it will work?
What?
Sorry.
Yep.
What?
I tried it, and literally it's nothing but it's nothing but reading infrared. So remember, infrared is nothing but a high light that we can't see with our eyes.
Whoa, wait.
Pat, I know I'm blowing your goddamn mind right now. I know you just got off of you know, Blunt Opinions not too long ago, you and Will, but I'm letting you know it works, bro.
Listen, okay,
Wait,
I already didn't understand the magic of technology, but I assumed if you put something techie on the TV and then a fucking string comes and plugs into what you have, it's connected. So in my mind, it was just like chips and shit.
Nope. All it was reading is light, infrared light. You know, think of the same thing with, you know, when you press your remote control, which for your TVs and everything like that. The infrared that's coming out of that. There's nothing but a light that we can't see really with our eyes. Right?
So what? How, I'm sorry.
You put a candle?
I put 2 candles.
I'm saying, what did this candle do for you?
No, I literally tried it, bro, and I promise you it works.
What'd you do? Like, you lit a candle and what?
I lit 2 candles, put it near the TV, put it right underneath the TV, and pointed the damn Wiimote at it. Sure enough, it worked. I was able to actually get through all the menus and get my game started and everything like that.
So you mean when siblings are being petty and they don't want to watch what you want and they block the remote, the reason why the remote doesn't work is because it can't pick up the light.
Because it can't pick up the light. Exactly.
So does that work with remote controls and TVs then too?
I mean, of course, you stand in front of where the receiver is, where it's looking for the infrared, then yeah, it would work.
No, a candle.
Candle not so much, because the reason why it is it's actually sending a signal. It's actually looking for
the remote is the one that's sending what it's actually doing in that case.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but either way.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So then, how did it pick up? Did it pick up as good as the sensor bar?
No, not as good, but it worked. Like, it was able to at least let me get to the control, to the menu and everything like that. You know what I mean? I was able to get to settings and change stuff.
But did you play like that?
I played a game that all you had to do was press buttons. You feel me? Like, I couldn't get, because I'm not sure if you know, the buttons don't work. There's no way to move around the Wii main menu without actually pointing the damn thing at the screen. You can't choose anything. You can't choose a single thing on that damn thing. So you have to have the bar. So I was able to get through.
You don't think it was strong enough to support a gameplay that you needed?
You could get to the whole game. I mean, I don't know how long that candle's gonna last, but bro, it worked. That's all. I was just trying to do a little fun fact about that. I know we got other shit to get to. It works, bro.
Did you have to dim the?
I turned off the lights. I turned off the lights in the room. I did.
So you know what? That's something you got to bring
satanic ritual is that?
You going to show us that on the text.
I promise you, bro, it works.
We have to see that. We have to see that.
But I guess, I guess that's a dope way to close that out. I think we'll save. We brought in the breaking news segment, so we're gonna have another segment we'll give to y'all next time, which is called The Vault. And we want y'all to participate in this too. So not the vault, the time capsule. Apologies. So I want everyone to think about in 1,000 years, we're putting a time capsule for someone in 1,000 years to find what video games are going in this capsule. That's what I want y'all to think about. I want y'all to think hard about it. I just threw this on y'all, so I don't want y'all to just blur something. I want y'all to really give this some thought. What game do you think people in 1,000 years should see, trying to put to whatever new technology? I'm sure it's going to have something to do with liquid, and them to see what our culture was like. So we're going to do that next time. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Games That Defined You. Again, this is going to be a weekly segment here on All Def Gaming. This is something that we want to keep going with. We're going to try to bring special guests up here like Brandon Brody and some other cats too. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to All Def's YouTube channel, All Def's Cannabis channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Arcade Tokens YouTube channel, Khleo Thomas's YouTube channel, Patrick Cloud's YouTube channel, Will Pharaoh's YouTube channel, and all of our social medias as well, because we got too much stuff coming. Too much stuff is coming.
And just a really quick shout out to everybody who donated. I didn't get to say what's up to Sade and Lady A, who just said, Pat, Will, Khleo, and Khadeem, love you guys. Appreciate the great content. Hashtag Arcade Tokens, Cloud Village, and Zordon. So thank you guys. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who rocked with us and checked out this stream today. Y'all were dope in the comments. This community continues to grow and continue to be one of the best communities we have out here. And we appreciate each and every single one of you. So until next time, I am the anomaly Will Pharaoh.
I'm Khleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
I'm Patrick Cloud.
And Zordon, of course, in Arcadia, taking care of things. And we will catch you next time.
Y'all good there, fellas?
It's winter time, but y'all not showing where the heat at. Build your fire, wait until the sun up.